and welcome back to the channel. And in Swansea at the moment it's quite hot. In this room at the moment it's about 24.5 degrees, and if I went outside it's been up to 26 degrees today, and there was similar temperatures yesterday and the day before. And this sunshine, if you've watched my last solar review video released at the beginning of the month, would have seen that throughout May we had a lot of sunshine. It's only rained once in the past 5 weeks. But the reason why I'm making this video is to do with the temperature and my own observations, which I alluded to in that video, but also this tweet from DUP MP Sammy Wilson. So the DUP is, I think it's the Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland. Anyway, Sammy Wilson tweeted earlier this week, "The UK has had to start coal-fired generation during the heatwave because the sun is too strong and solar panels have to be taken offline." So I should point out that this MP has actually been back and corrected their statement and said what the source was and acknowledged that there was an error with this. But just diving into the facts of this. On the 12th of June, and this is according to a BBC article, but also you can check this against other resources as well, the UK did have to turn on some of its coal-powered power stations, and this was for a combination of reasons. The first was that there hasn't been much wind in the UK, so wind generation has dropped. And also, because of the heat in the UK, people were turning on air conditioning units in the middle of the day, and therefore there was a spike in power, and they needed to turn the coal-powered stations on to generate for that peak. It should point out that solar in the UK for the peak of the day on the 12th was actually accounting for 20% of the UK's generation of electricity. So that's the facts of the matter. But it is known though that solar panels are affected by the heat, and this is the same as any electronic device. It didn't get to the point where they have to be taken offline, they just act less efficiently. And I've noticed this in my own solar generation. So I've got 4.65 kilowatts of peak power that my roof can generate from my 12 385 watt panels. This should be taken with a pinch of salt, because silicon is a semiconductor, there's always discrepancies from panel to panel. So we have actually seen generation of up to 5 kilowatts. But we should expect a peak at full sun, like we've been having, of about 4.6 kilowatts. However, if I look back through the last couple of days, so today we've topped out at 4.2, and that was just after it was cloudy and was a bit cooler. Yesterday was 3.9. The day before, which was the 14th, we did just get over 4.017. Day before that, again just tipping over the 4 at about 4.05 kilowatts. So we have seen a reduction. So there is a reason for why solar panels are less efficient in the heat. And if you look back at my previous solar science video where I looked at how solar panels worked, I talked in there about how it's important for electron hole pair to generate, and when the sun hits that electron hole pair, the electron gets excited, they split apart, and that creates the voltage or the potential difference that drives the current. When it's hot weather, the electrons can get energy in the whole panel, or from the whole materials, from all the layers, from the heat, and this causes them to jump to a higher excited state, which means that the potential difference generated is smaller. So I am planning on making another video where I go into a bit more of the science of solar panels and their problems and how they're getting around to solve them. I just haven't had time to make that one yet, but keep an eye on the channel and please subscribe if you're interested in the science of this. Anyway, so we know that solar panels are less efficient and there is a science behind it, and this also applies to all devices as well. This is why if your laptop starts running hot or your phone starts running hot, they start to slow down or even shut down, and that's why they have fans and cooling systems built in. In the case of solar panels, depending on the quality of the solar panel and what resource you look at, for every degree above 25 degrees Celsius, a solar panel rises in temperature, it loses about 0.3 to 0.5 of its efficiency. So I'm losing about 15% of my efficiency looking at those figures. So you might be thinking about, well, why, if the temperature outside is only 26 degrees, have I lost 15%, not between 0.3 and 0.5%? And that's because solar panels are usually black. Mine are black on the roof. Black absorbs heat, so if I was to go up there and put a thermometer on them, I wouldn't touch this with my hand, you'll probably find that the temperature is much, much greater. And I have seen a couple of people sort of estimating that in full sunshine, solar panels can get up to about 65 to 75 degrees Celsius. And that increase of about 45 degrees would account at the lower efficiency loss of 0.3 of that 15% that I've actually dropped. So this is one of the problems with solar panels. The problem is now, does it actually matter? Well, unless you're only using your solar panels to generate like a peak power, so let's say you had, in my case, 4.5 kilowatts of use in the house at one time, say if you had 2 ovens on and maybe a kettle or something like that, then yes, I would have to draw from the grid because I was only generating a peak of 4. However, it's very rarely that we ever go above sort of a peak of 3 kilowatts in the house, so even in full sunshine it's not a problem. And also I have a battery system, and that can make up for that loss in efficiency. And the other thing to take account of is energy. Yes, the solar panels are less efficient, but they are working for longer at a higher output, not at the highest output, not as a peak output, but at an overall higher output, which means that in the past, well, I haven't checked the full data recently, but certainly over the first 6 days in June, every day was above 30 kilowatt hours generated. So I'm still producing more than enough energy. It's just that little peak power is not as high. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, please subscribe, and I'll see you in another video very soon.